Oh my, oh my, oh my. Do we have a main event on our hands here? Gene Silva versus Diego Lopes is headlining UFC Noche, which is like the big card in September since we aren't getting the pay-per-view. And what a main event we have in store here. One we didn't see coming. Where is Yair Rodriguez? Where the fuck is Yair Rodriguez? This was his fight versus Diego Lopes. Okay? Okay? This was his fight. Gene Silva versus Lopez is a fucking sick fight, and I absolutely love it. But Yair Rodriguez was the fight to make for this specific card, okay? Because it's in Mexico as well, or it's like a Mexican themed card. You see, no, Jamie. Where's Yair? Where's Yair Rodriguez? I thought Yair was the fight to make for this fucking card specifically, but the beef was there, the rivalry was there. Having said all of that, we have an incredibly good stylistic matchup on our hands here. And I'm going to be picking Diego Lopez to knock out Gene Silva in the second round. Or the first round, maybe. Because this is not going the distance. This is 100% not going the distance. The UFC need to make this card good, though. You know what I'm saying? The UFC can't afford to not stack this card. Because we don't have a pay-per-view in September. Because Canelo versus Crawford is on. Let's make that clear. Dana White is going to be sucking the life out of that. And that's why we, as UFC fans, don't have a pay per view because Dana White is going to do a boxing fight. I'll make a whole video on that actually, but we have a good main event here. It's not a pay per view. It's not a title fight. It's good, but we want a stacked card behind it. We want a stacked card behind it, man. Um, I think Diego Lopez is way more experienced than Gene Silva, but Gene Silva is so dangerous, so dangerous. This is a fucking banger main event. I love this fight. I feel like Lopez has better hands, and I feel like Lopez hits harder, and it's very quick. They're both very quick, but I'd probably pick Lopez in a little bit more speed than Gene Silva. I think he'd definitely have the submission game. I don't know actually, that's close. Gene Silva probably actually has it on the ground now that I think about it. I feel like Gene Silva's got good clout off Bryce Mitchell, but I feel like Diego Lopez is the future of the division. I feel like he really showed against Volkanovski that he's able to hang in there for 5 rounds. He's got a good gas tank. He was so close to chinning Volk. Volk was one step ahead of Lopez, but fuck me. But Lopez nearly had him on skates so many times, man. So many times. And I feel like Lopez is going to be able to get this one done. I cannot believe they didn't do the Yair fight. Yair is probably going to be fighting Volkanovski, which, if that fight happens, that is just a disgrace. You put that on a fight night, if I'm being honest. Put that on a fight night. Don't let us as fans suffer through that as a main event of a pay-per-view. The only one exception I will make is if it was a co-main event to JDM versus Makachev, even though it shouldn't be. And then you had Arman Strukin versus Dan Hooker's feature fight. That's the only way I'll look at that and say it's shit, but at least we have that. That's the only way that's going to work, in my opinion. Um, Gene Silva has great grappling. He's got decent hands as well. He really showed in the Bryce Mitchell fight that he can strike. He's got good chin, and he's hell entertaining, man. But these fighting nerds are the fucking real deal. Braujo's going to take it over in France. Gene Silva's going to go over take it over there in the no-shake card. Thank God this isn't in the sphere because we don't have to listen to that bullshit again. Even though that was a fucking sick event and it looked unbelievable, I must say the UFC really went out there. Marab stunk it up though, but this is an incredible fight. This is an incredible fight. Gene Silva took all of Bryce Mitchell's hype. That was one of the most hyped fights I've ever had for anything. Diego Lopez went in there nearly fucking shin Volkanovski. But if you look at Lopez's kind of record, Brian Ortega, Dan Ige, Sadiq Youssef, arguably beat Movsar Evloev. Very close fight, very short notice as well. That was his UFC debut. So dangerous off his back. Such quick hands. Dan Ige decision. Dan Ige took that on like an hour's notice, which is pretty insane. But like that can fuck a fighter off. You know what I mean? Sadiq Youssef is an incredibly underrated win. Incredibly underrated win, in my opinion. Brian Ortega, he nearly fucking got him out there in the first. But I'm telling you, you just cannot finish Brian Ortega. He's unfinishable, and the dude is just an absolute. He's fighting Aljamain Sterling. I'm gonna make a video on that as well. That how Johnny Walker's a main event of a UFC card, any card. I don't care if it's in Singapore. I think it's in Singapore. I don't care. Johnny Walker should never, ever be a main event to any fight card ever. Okay? But the Gene Silva versus Lopez card, I feel like Lopez is going to be able to keep out range and find the shots better than Silva. I'm going to assume Lopez has a reach on Silva. Gene Silva, I don't know. I just see Lopez winning, man. I just see Lopez winning. I just think he's a little bit better than Gene Silva. I value experience highly. I honestly think Diego Lopez is the future of the featherweight division, and I feel like he's going to be able to get this one done. And I feel like Gene Silva. A lot of people are saying as soon as Gene Silva is right there, Volkanovski needs to retire. Fuck, man, I don't know. I just think Lopez is better. I honestly think Lopez is better. Now, obviously, Gene Silva definitely creates kind of a fast pace, but so does Diego Lopez. I think if Volk's able to deal with that, I feel like he's able to deal with a Gene Silva. Incredibly dangerous fight though. Like Volkanovski could absolutely 1,000,000% get finished in that fight. But I wouldn't be just saying Gene Silva was 1,000,000% going to beat Volkanovski. Do you know what I mean? I can't say that about anybody apart from like Ilya. Do you know what I'm saying? And Lopez couldn't do it. Volk took some of Lopez's best shots. Let's not forget that. Volk had a schooling on him. Okay, Yair. Oh my God, that would be Yair Rodriguez beating Volkanovski would be the equivalent to Cyril Gane beating Tom Aspinall. Honestly, that's the equivalent of that. But this is a great fight. I fucking love this fight. Let me know what you think about this fight down below, and thanks.